And in a similar vein to that, the New York Post is reporting that Harry's fed up with missing royal milestones. So how much is it that the Sussexes aren't invited? How much is it that they're choosing not to attend?
Well, that's a good question because I'm sure he is fed up of missing things. I mean, he's got two young children who don't know his father, their grandfather. They don't see Meghan's father as well, so their only grandparent that they spend time with is Doria, which is Meghan's mother. And Harry is cut adrift out in the US. He's trying to make a success out of it. They've had a few business ventures that haven't gone to play. And so he's in a bit of a difficult situation. I'm sure he does miss his family. He said it himself before in those interviews that he gave for his book that he wants to bring his family to the table. He's seeking an apology from them, which I don't think will be forthcoming, certainly not from his brother, Prince William. So I'm sure that he would want to be engaged in those family events once more. There's definitely a period that he feels that this could be the time for repairing of relationship with his father. But I suppose there's a bit of time that needs to elapse before that can happen.
Now, Omid Scobie, who's a royal commentator, he's also the author of a book named Endgame. He has said that Harry and Meghan need to establish a purpose going forward. Look, to be honest, I think there are a few people who would disagree with that. It would also lead to a lot less questioning about their future. What are your thoughts?
Well, very much so. I think, a lot of people have been saying that, and they would probably say that themselves, that since moving to America, their whole purpose was to establish themselves, become financially independent, was the phrase that they used when they left the royal family. And that in turn meant earning millions of dollars in order to pay for their security, pay for their lifestyle that they'd become accustomed to, whilst working with, the big boys like Netflix, Spotify, Harry getting a job as some wellness director for some tech companies. And this is the problem for them, that I don't think they have necessarily found their purpose. It hasn't really worked out in the sort of streaming sphere for them. Meghan's Disney show was panned or canned before it even got off the ground. So what is the next stage for them? Certainly we've seen some discussions, we think, between some different tech companies in the US, perhaps Meghan getting back into presenting. I mean, we saw her earlier this week saying that they had exciting projects in the pipeline. So, yes, I think 2024 is going to be a big year for the Royals. I think we're going to see some more international travel, a lot more collaboration between them, and it could be a big year for Harry and Meghan as well.
And apparently Harry's close bond with Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie is considered a bit of an issue for the royal family. Now, look, they've been very close for a very long time. It can hardly be surprising. What are your thoughts?
Well, when it was all coming on top for Harry, certainly Eugenie was his only ally in the camp, and he's very, very close to her. They've had a very, very close relationship for many, many years. Growing up, they were always the closest, and I think that with that severance of the relationship between his brother, his old pal, sparring partner, and Eugenie was really one to lend a shoulder for him. And we've seen her traveling over to California. She's been there a couple of times. Harry made a stop over to Portugal when he was over in Europe with Meghan to see her new baby. And I suppose for Harry, it's decent that he still has an ally in the camp, because nobody was spared from the sort of barbs from his from his memoir. And so maybe Eugenie is possibly the go-between to mend those relationships between his father and his brother. I mean, certainly Harry, it seems, does want to mend those relationships moving forward.